scary. Nighttime sightings. According to Reddit, number 20. Once, I saw a killer clown on the side of a deserted country road during the 2016 clown apocalypse. I think I cried. For those who aren't aware, or based on the people that have been in my chat recently are probably too young to have been around during 2006 turn, there were clowns all over the place, with murderous intent, foolish and crazy enough to just be standing in the darkness, almost as if provoking people to just shoot him. The Kyle channel does not condone shooting anybody, regardless of how they are dressed, in the middle of the night. Some people believe that these clowns were, well, part of a viral marketing campaign to promote the It movie. But I think it's just people being stupid. Number 19. A body in the ditch. I thought it was a deer as I approached, and then my brain was like, deer don't wear boots, but monkeys do. I was shaking as I did a U-turn to make sure the person was alive. They were. Just drunk. And some people stopped as well, and emergency was called. I was so shaken up by it. Shaken up. So spooky. Number 18. I was fetching someone from his work. I had to go through some fields. Some parts of the road were dark. I was a thin, long object wiggling at an upright position at the side of the road in front of me. Boy, did you read was when it says saw? Dyslexic. I saw a thin, long object wiggling at an upright position at the side of the road in front of me. Totally freaked me out. I thought I was finally experiencing something extraordinary. As I got closer, I realized it was a tail of a cow. A tail of a cow. It must have escaped from the field and was hanging around at the side of the road. My God. The cow itself was black. The tail slightly lighter in color. That's why I only saw the tail moving first, without seeing the whole cow first. Ooh. So spooky. Why does Zoe say I'm decent? Does that mean that she's clothed? Usually people say I'm not decent when they mean that they're not wearing anything. Well, the Kyle channel does not condone people being decent. You better stop it in here, everybody. Number 17. A closed Waffle House. For those who aren't aware, because you're 4 days old, you know, there is something legitimately called the Waffle House Index. That pertains to Waffle Houses and how they never close. There could be like a hurricane literally right outside, tornadoes coming on down. but Waffle Houses will typically remain open unless for whatever reason they are forced to close. So to read quickly from the wiki, the Waffle House Index is an informal metric used by the Federal Emergency Management Agency, or FEMA, to determine the effect of a storm and the likely scale of assistance required for disaster recovery. If you get there and the Waffle House is closed, that's really bad, an excerpt. The measure is based on the reputation of Waffle House for having good disaster preparedness and staying open during extreme weather, or reopening quickly afterwards. Number 16. I was following a gray Toyota Tundra in a massive blizzard. The irony. I followed it through this blizzard, through Montana, on McDonald Pass. Bada, ba. He was going pretty quick most of the way, but must have been unfamiliar with how steep the final few miles were. He got away from me as I slowed down to about 35. Not 5 minutes later, I passed his tire marks in the fresh snow that went off the side of the mountain. I pulled over and looked down to see his truck upside down and on fire about 300 yards down. I called 911. He didn't die, but burned up pretty bad. Sad and scary. Don't go 50 miles an hour in the snow just because you have a truck. Come on now. Well, when you live that stupid life, you can win some stupid prizes. Which is to say, I'm on fire. It's not cool. It could happen to anybody. Drive safe out there. Wow. Drive safe. Number 15. I got off my exit, or at my exit, and the whole road was covered in blood. Just covered in blood. I put my bright lights on and saw a bisected body of a large animal. It just made me so sad. Well, sometimes these things happen. Has anybody in the chat ever hit an animal in their vehicle? The chat eagerly awaits your response. Number 14. Dad was driving at night, and I was looking out the window and saw 2 red pinpricks in the corn. It followed us. I told my dad about it, and he said in the most calm, casual tone, "Those are cornfield demons. Stay in the car, and you'll be okay." Cue me freaking the hell out when he got out of the car not too long after to check a tire before getting back in. I'm still not sure if that was an actual thing or if he was using a situation to his advantage to teach me to not do anything stupid like that at night. Either way, it worked, and I still have no idea what those 2 pinpricks were. The cornfield demons. Zoe says,
I was in my car with my friend, and she hit a deer. But I didn't hit it.
now that's what I'm talking about. Miss Guitar Girl says, someone ran over me before. This is not a list for you to showboat and boast about your sexual conquests. This is a list about spooky things like people hitting animals. Okay? Spooky time. None of you get to talk until you're not decent. This means you, McDia. Jesus. What? Number 13. Linda says, Mom hits a lot of bunnies every springtime. I guess you could say she took the spring out of their step. Because they're... Number 13. Frogs. You could say everything I'm talking about is getting bouncy, like everyone should be when they're not decent. That's good. That's how I just tied it all together. Shit, that's pretty good. All right, look, frogs fucking everywhere. Like hundreds of frogs all over the road. You can't just say an entry like this and not just give us like a picture. Because if it was biblical and there were like so many of them, it would be creepy if you took a picture. Everybody has camera phones now, man. Can't somebody just go to Reddit and be like, hey, what's the craziest thing you got photographic evidence for? Because it is 2019. You shouldn't be anywhere without your phone charged. One flash picture isn't going to kill you. Fucking hate these. Oh, Christopher Robbins. Sorry, I'm working on my poo. Number 12. I don't know if this is really scary, but it definitely freaked me out for a moment. Driving home from grad lab for a couple hours of sleep. It's about 4 a.m. It's not dawn yet, but it's still pitch black. I turn a corner, and suddenly, someone runs into the street right in front of my car and stops. I stop. I wait. They don't move. Cautiously, I drive around, or try to. They scream, run up and slam their hands on the hood of my car, with them so close that I realize that they are totally naked and filthy. They stare at me for a moment, then proceed to run in wide circles, kinda listing to one side then the other in front of my car. After about 2 minutes of this, he lists hard to one side, far enough that I felt safe quickly driving around them. Very wide on the other side, that was now open. Meth, man. Shit. Boy. Just to give a little bit of Kyle spice to this list, I would have to say that if somebody jumped in front of my vehicle while I was driving, that the meter of me being freaked out enough to just do whatever the hell I need to do to get out of that situation doesn't take a lot to fill. You understand? Maybe some people will be like a nice tall beaker. For Kyle, it would probably be like a thimble. You know, my WTF sensors are going to go off to the point where it's like, well, I don't feel safe. So it's time to do whatever I can to giggity gim the fling flong out of here. You know, a lot of situations can turn me into a duck with a piece of bread. That duck's got a piece of bread. Bruh. Swagsticle says, know what's scary? Tall grass. Who believes that, bruh? Who believes that? What are you, like an inexperienced Pokemon trainer? Typical. They're just falling out of the walls. Birds don't even exist, bro. They're all mechanical. That's what the government wants you to think. Turning frogs gay. Frogs are gay. Number 11. A lonely abandoned shack with a bunch of arrows pointing to it that said come in. Oh my god. David says, yo, thanks for the vids. They really make my workday go much smoother. Well, that's what the ladies like. Smooth. As opposed to coarse and rough like sand. Number 10. Driving to work at 4:30 a.m. and seeing a cyclist with his head split open and the brains all over the road. All the brains. Oh. Is that monetizable, YouTube? You know, it's starting to really piss me off, the idea of like me not being able to talk about some of the most candy ass stuff without getting demonetized. Because, yeah, I don't know if y'all have seen, but I don't want to get into it, but there's this one YouTube channel that had something on it called Torture for Flies. And I'll show it to you because contextually it's pretty creepy. Don't ask me how I came across this, okay? But I found a video and it was entitled Torture for Flies. Girl Power. And it illustrates how you should put a fly into a mason jar and then fart into that jar to give the fly the impression that there is a, you know, just, you know, I don't, you know, what? Shouldn't Jacob have already been subscribed? What do I say to that? So, Obsidian Jacob's podcast. Unsubscribe from me? Ain't that just how it goes? Oh no, he's subscribing on Twitch. Appreciate you, my man. Because he's a mod too. What the fuck? No way. Alright. Look, so just to give you an idea of how creepy some things on YouTube are, man, I don't even know what to say or do. Boy, oh boy. Don't ask me how I ended up there, but if that's okay, you know? Like, that is specifically, I don't know, man. I don't want to cross over any lines and say that must be more degenerate than what I'm talking about. But whatever. Number 9. While traveling east, just outside of Flagstaff, Arizona, around midnight, I was in the fast lane doing about 80 miles an hour. There was a bend in the road, and you could see the headlights of the westbound lane filter in between the trees. It was funny, because I thought the lights kinda looked like they were coming at me. Then they really were. I screamed obscenities and jerked the wheel just in time to let a speeding wrong-way driver fly by me in the lane I was just in. After skidding to a stop on the shoulder, I called the cops to report it, and the cop said, "Could you describe the vehicle?" And I was like, "Yes, it was dark. It was a blur of headlights." Son of a bitch. Well, there you go. Thank you, dorky. I don't know why you didn't just do it $2 at a, what, my man, thank you. You know, but here comes Dawn. Hey, look, it's Vox. Dawn says, "Kyle, I was driving home at 2 a.m. 1. It was pitch black. Next thing I hear was thud, and both my headlights went out, and my truck shut down and never started. 45 minutes of waiting for a tow in darkness." Well, at least you didn't get abducted. By aliens? Well, if it isn't Ariana Mendoza. Doesn't get any more Hispanic sounding than that. Where do you think she's from? Do you?
Maybe Wisconsin.
Everything's Wisconsin with this girl. Number 8.
Better than Illinois.
A hitchhiker almost leapt in front of my car on a dark forest road late at night. The woman literally hopped out of nowhere, and I had to drift into an oncoming lane. Deja vu! Luckily, there was no one else and painted median there. Okay. I read a police report that she ended up getting hit minutes after I drove by. She was intoxicated and running from the police. Pretty creepy. I hope she's alright. I can't imagine what the driver that hit her was thinking. Yeah, nice that she ruined that idiot's night. Can you imagine if she died and some guy has to live with the fact that he hit and killed somebody? My lord. And they probably has family members that are so up their own ass that like they have nothing better going on in their lives than to just talk about them all the time. So they would probably never let him live it down. You know, the fact that they hit and killed somebody as if it were their fault, you know. It's okay. I know you normally don't, you know, kind of assess things on a level like that, but I'm usually just trying to look at all the angles, and it's sad because I know that when you think about it realistically, if you hit somebody with your car and they died, it wouldn't matter if they're drunk. It wouldn't matter if they were jumping in front of the car and all kind of shit like that. Everybody's going to be judging you, my dude. Your insurance is going to be, you know, scrutinizing this like you're crazy. The police are going to be investigating it like, you know, this was vehicular manslaughter on your part, dude. Your family's going to be like, so did you really, you know, did you try to swerve or did you swerve into him? And, you know what I mean? People that weren't there are going to be trying to tell you, you know, like what happened as if they know better than you do. It's just going to be a wonderful experience because real life is just cruel like that. You know, you're probably going to, in your entire life, you will probably meet 2 to 3 people who genuinely understand not just you, but how to treat a person, you know, how to act with a bit of, how to come across with a bit of dignity or tact, you know, how to speak to somebody, you know, what not to say and when not to say that. Okay. And here's the thing. We all live our lives, and, you know, when people die and the things that happen in people's lives happen, you know, it's difficult to try to expect everybody else to have their lives slow down to a halt at the same time, you know. Somebody died in your life or you broke up or some shit like that. It's not like that with everybody else, so you can't expect them all to slow down in that capacity as well. But you can expect them to extend, you know, a little bit of a grace period, maybe a couple of days, you know. Maybe some girl loses a baby and the first thing you do is not joke, you know. Give it a while, guys. Just give it a while. Whoa. But hey, fucking repulsive. My heart goes out to this person. I just know that they were going through hell because they hit a person with their car and it was their fault. But that's not what everybody else is gonna think. Even when they weren't there, they're going to be like, man, so you hit somebody with your car. Number 7. I was driving on the expressway around 2 a.m. and a semi hit a car and it went into the median. The car basically folded itself and was beyond smashed. It folded into itself. I can't imagine that person survived, and it was incredibly sad and terrifying to see. And it can happen to any one of us. Be careful on the roads, boy. Especially on the highway. It can happen to any one of us. Jesus. Someone responds, before my parents moved to where I am, I'd often visit my hometown up north. A 10-hour drive, all on the same highway. You drive in 10 hours to your hometown, you better have friends over there. I made that trip several times, and there was always some tragic crash at least once during the drive. I'm not super religious, but I got in the habit of saying a prayer for them and their families. I hate seeing that. Ugh. Pretty creepy. Boy. Number 6 hole. I was driving home late one night and was driving on a dark stretch of highway. Suddenly a body was in front of me. I tried to swerve out of the way, but it was too late. My bumper was hanging on the ground. The guy died. And I went to a nearby gas station not knowing what to do. I was 18 years old. When the tow truck pulled my car up onto it, there was a bunch of blood and guts on the bottom. I couldn't get that image out of my head. Apparently, a drunk driver with 5 DUIs had hit a guy on the motorcycle prior? For years I had serious depression and thought about it every night before sleep. Listen. Apparently a drunk driver with 5 DUIs had hit a guy on the motorcycle prior. Oh, sweet God. So a guy with DUIs hit a guy on a motorcycle, and maybe he was on the road, and then the other guy drove over the body? That kinda sucks. And all we can do is wonder and hope that the dude was dead before the other guy hit him. Can I even talk about this? Before the YouTube police roll in? Shit. I think the system in our country is not working. If a guy that has 5 driving while intoxicated can still get behind the wheel. Was he driving legally, or tell me it was illegal? We were a stupid society to let somebody get 5 DUIs and then still let them get, well, what did I just say? Hey, what? Somebody says it's just because someone is driving doesn't mean they're doing so legally. Well, that's both of what I just said. Someone says, but in the US, it is forbidden by law to be a criminal. I almost said something. I almost said something, boy. Whew. Here we go. That's sad. That's a sad entry. Just gonna upvote that. And number 5. A dead butchered horse laying in the road. Well, it's better than people beating it. Beating that dead horse. Somebody had completely skinned and butchered the horse. Took the choice pieces of meat and just dumped it on the highway. I almost crashed into it. I feel like that's more trouble than it's worth. You know what I mean? There are a lot of places you can dump a horse. In the highway? What made you bring it out there? Well, it's in the road. I don't know. No, dumped it on the highway. I'm wondering where I got highway from. It says it right there. I don't know. What the fuck everybody's saying? I'm guessing it fell out of their truck. That's what I'm guessing, dude. You know, I hate to, over scrutinize anything, but it feels like more trouble than it's worth. And, what do you mean butchered a horse? You can grind a horse up into some shit. You know what I'm talking about? So, if you're going to kill a horse, you better use most of it. I'm guessing it fell out of their truck on their way to dump it, or else they hit it on the road by accident and decided it was better not to waste the meat. I've seen this happen with deer, but never a horse. I assume they stole the horse, but this may have also been the case. Man, listen. Right. Okay. Tawny Clan says, Jesus Christ, I'm eating. What you eating, horse? Typical. Girl, stop eating horse. Okay? Unless it's ground up into the hot dogs like everybody else eats. See, I don't eat that. I only eat beef hot dogs. Alright? Number 4. Play the other track. Jeez. I was on the I-70 in Colorado, going towards Utah. Pulled over at a gas station at 8 p.m. and fueling up, I noticed a couple of attractive women pumping gas. Girls just want to have fun playing in the background. On the other side of the pump was this man in his late 40s, just staring at these young women. without notice of anything else going on around him. I walk inside to grab some food, and for the next few hours of driving, when I come out, I see both the younger women's car and the older man's truck are gone. I decided to hang out at the gas station for the next hour to catch a little sleep before hitting the road again. After driving for a few hours, I was speeding heavy. I pull over at yet another gas station. The young women are there getting gas and eating some food on a picnic table. So they're okay. That's good. It looked like they had been there for a while. I didn't see any sign or the man in the truck, but I can't say I was looking very hard for him. Well, here's where things get creepy as hell. I can't say I didn't stare at them a bit. I mean, they were good-looking women. My man. As I am watching them, I see the next parking lot over, some headlights turn on, and it's the same man as before. He leaves when the women leave once again. Okay. I mean, that's weird, but... Wait, isn't subscription like the spicy one over on Twitch? Thank you for that, Stripes. Thank you for that. That's a spicy one over on Twitch. Wow. Oh, Jacob, did you give that to her?
Yeah, Jacob did.
Nice, thanks, Jacob. I appreciate that. Well, look, that's a bit weird that the dude was pulling out after these females, but, you know, it could just be a coincidence, so there weren't many places to pull over. I leave a few minutes later and catch up to them. The guy is riding their ass with his high beams on. I decide to slow down and stay a distance behind the truck. 10 minutes or so later, the women pull over, once again, to most likely get this guy off their asses. With a sign of relief, the truck keeps going, and I continue on my way. About 1 mile down the road, the guy just pulls off to the side of the highway. So I pull off a mile or so down the road again. Sure enough, the women drive by, and the guy just starts following them again. At this point, we are out in the middle of nowhere. Too many coincidences have happened. I call the cops, alert them, and about 15 minutes later, the cops pulled the guy over. I could have just seen too many horror movies and that started like this and overreacted, but you never know. It's better to be safe than sorry. I would have caught his ass on camera. Been like, look out, cops. You want this spicy ass video? 2 times this boy did it. Why he acting like that? He don't know them girls. He don't know them girls. When he could just find girls on the P-Hub, dear. On the P-Hub with more bigger boobies. Why you have to murder? You know, I want to make free sex dolls available to men who would be murderers. Make love to doll, not slice and dice. No slice and dice. Number three. I slammed the brakes twice. Is that what that said? I slammed the brakes once because I saw a deer in my peripheral vision. Upon closer inspection, it was a mounted deer head on a stick in the middle of the woods. I slammed it on the gas after I realized that. What's so spooky about that?
Look, no sane person tends to just put anyone's head, animal or people's, unless you're
You've never been in that kind of like what's the word? Driveway or something where people just have all this ignorant stuff out there and they're all like, we're hunters out here. You wouldn't want to come out here. That's what's up.
not sane people.
Hey, did you hear the thing about the mosquitoes?
What thing about the mosquitoes?
Let me see if I can find it.
It better be good news. It better
Good
be
news about
good
mosquitoes? Yeah.
Yeah.
And they all died within 3 days. They'll be dead.
A deadly mosquito-borne virus that causes brain swelling in humans has been detected in Florida.
Looks like we're never leaving the house again then.
Oh, please. With a mother like mine, we'll have to leave every single day of the week on a task more trivial than the last.
Then I'm wearing like...
Don't you know it's our destiny to die in a vehicular fucking crash? You know, being called out of the house on some errand that we couldn't give a shit about? And then you know what the comedy is? I've run this over in my head a dozen times. When we die in a crash on the road, when we were on the road, when we didn't want to be out there, it won't even be like the type of thing that somebody blames himself for. They won't be like, oh, if we had just never called them over, this wouldn't have happened. It'll probably be like 3 days and then they'll just, you know, get over it. They'll be like,
Man, so anyway, I'm about to go get this new antacid tablet I heard about on the radio.
on the radio, the happening new, you know, the young boy from our neighborhood died last year suddenly and with no closure for the parents. These were his symptoms. My wife saw the father months later at the grocery store, and he would go on to say that he felt strongly now that it had something to do with a bite on his face. The CDC had apparently been involved to some degree. We live in St. Augustine. So look, I know that a lot of you signed up for me being sarcastic with this silly ass list about, you know, totally creepy and scary nighttime sightings on the road, but it doesn't really get any more scary than mosquitoes finding a way now because the diseases weren't bad enough to cause brain swelling in people. And look, I thought we made it abundantly clear to these fucking scientists. Listen, kill them all. We don't care what side effects there are. As long as they don't start killing the humans, kill them. If we wipe out a couple of other animals in the process, oh well, dude. Get rid of these freaking mosquitoes. And now brain swelling, dude? Isn't that what was going on in 28 Days Later? Where like the disease caused people's brains to swell and it made them crazy like fucking, you know, apocalypse zombies? Come on. Oh boy. So your brain don't swell. Yeah, my brain don't feel so swell right now. Or maybe it do. Sometimes it do. I'm trying to remember this one. You know, actually, I think I saved a clip of that. That's the comedy. I'll release that later. Stripes and I were like trying to come up with a great name for a list one night. Number 2. A 6-foot kangaroo standing in the middle of a pitch black road at 3 a.m. in the morning. I missed it by a bee's dirk. So there's your new phrase that you can parade around and get all the honeys with. Honeys like dumb new phrases like that. Somebody in my Discord was trying to make litty happen. You hear that? It's like the phrase lit, but worse. So all y'all should start saying shit like,
Oh, that's litty, bro.
You're gonna make it a thing.
Bruh, litty.
hashtag litty. All right. Ironically, of course. What are you doing? Litty titty. Well, that I don't like that because it sounds too close to little, and that's blasphemous, dude. That's blasphemous. With titties that little, you might as well be a man. Hey, what you mean, hey? Because everybody, you know, okay, I apologize to the male to female transgenders. I love my transgenders. I love all of the LGBTQ. And, you know.
That's mad litty. That's hella litty. Oh, God. This is the real scary part of the list. Yo, people are talking like this all around. That shit's hella litty, fam. Oh. Hella litty, fam. Damn.
Yo, I don't ever want to hear, look, I don't want to, okay. It's hurting me. It's like, ooh, it's shutting me down. We got to end this. That's shutting me down. Waltzing Corpse has been translating 2chan stories? Posting them at 4chan later. What you mean? translating them. What you at 2chan for? Go deeper. Go deeper than 4chan. Nobody hangs out on the 8chans or the 16chans anymore. That's pretty weird.
Isn't it because it's even worse than anything else?
Number 1, I used to deliver pizza, and often had deliveries right at midnight when we closed. One time, late at night, I'm driving back to the store through a small neighborhood. Up ahead I see something. It's perfectly spherical, bright, shiny. The thing is just hovering around 6 feet off the ground, and it starts to crack, and suddenly I feel as though we are going to go back multiple seasons as far as the map is concerned in Fortnite. Oh, damn! Kidding. Not moving at all. I pull up very slowly, still doesn't move. Still can't comprehend what I'm looking at, just the shining, hovering orb at the road, on the road in midnight. In midnight. In the road at midnight. At this point, my curiosity has overridden my fear, so I step out of the car like a man in a movie. Hello? Okay, at this point, my curiosity has overridden my fear. I'm the guy in the horror movies who dies, first, because I just gotta know. Either I die or I get a cool story, right? So I hop out of my car and slowly walk up to it. Don't pull out your phone or anything, right? I'm right in front of it, and I still can't understand what I'm seeing, so I reach out and touch it. It's a balloon. It's one of those foil birthday balloons with street lights shining on it, making it look weird out of context in the middle of the night on an empty road. Hello? Is anyone there? Hello? I'm shining my light. Can you see me? This isn't funny.
Marco!
My cell phone's dead. I just need some help. Please, my car broke down and all the other tropes. I can't believe it.
Also, suddenly I'm a woman now, so, you know.
Oh, jeez. What is the deal with airline food? I'm scared of clowns. I'm scared of everything. Don't do it. Don't jump out. Don't you do it. Also, roast me. Hashtag roast me.
Help me!
I'm just out. I'm an influencer. Yeah, Joe, we should make it. Oh, God. I almost said that out loud. Okay, look, I'm going to say it real quick. Influencers Die. That's the name of my movie title, right? And it should just be a movie about a whole bunch of Instagram models that are trying to go out to some location. And because they're all too stupid to function. And because the people that they're trying to, screw over into giving them free anything are just like, no, we hate you. They're like, what kind of world would just turn their back on attractive people? And then, like a really subtly, legally distinct version of the bing, ding, 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 but like 3 notes are different. It's like some ugly guy that wanted to be an influencer too, but, not pretty enough.
I wanted to be an influencer too.
We can call it, hashtag ugly.
What's Green Inferno?
Sounds like Green Inferno, Kyle? Is that a movie? No, my idea. My completely original idea. Let's see here. New York college student Justine, a lawyer's daughter. Damn, that's privileged. Meets a student activist named Alejandro. He's Hispanic. When he goes on a hunger strike on behalf of underpaid janitors. Guys, you know what you should have me do? You should have me do a movie review of a movie that nobody's interested in, so it's not been done on YouTube. Come on. 37% on Rotten Tomatoes. My God. It's old enough that Roger Ebert was still alive to give a rating for it. But not Siskel. These kids in the chat like,
Who is Siskel and Roger Ebert? What?
yeah, before Rotten Tomatoes. And even they're shills now. My lord. My lord. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you enjoyed this list. I'm here for you. Why? Because my patrons, they taking care of business every day, taking care of business and working overtime because my sponsors, that's you members. Look at you. You're unbelievable. And even with this weird bump trying to return to my tongue, even though I'm out here salt watering my my mouth like I'm a fish. Should just go live in a tank for a little bit, huh? Why would I review Porky's? Guys, no, you want to give me a bad movie, so I hate it. And it makes my voice crack because I hate it. Dude. Oh, yeah, now we're talking. That's what I'm talking about. But guys, yeah, no. Go shoot around some ideas for, how do you delete yourself? Delete. There's really no way to delete it. Nice. Nice, Dad. Oh, boy. Alejandro. What's really going on here?
Cannibal Holocaust.
I got Minecraft working again, but I don't know why I'm not excited about it. Maybe I need to go babysit Dia and Stripes in it, and then it'll be fun. You're in the wrong neighborhood, cat. Let's check that out. Animals being jerks. Oh no, this won't be good. Oh, so like the doggies are being mean to the cat? The cat doesn't care. That cat, you better not hit those doggies. Come on. Don't hit them.
If they're smart, they won't actually try to get too close to it. Within palm. Just lengths away. Yep.
Well, she found like a smarter spot to hang out. Or he. Look at all those little monsters.
Are they French bulldogs?
I guess. Stripe says, look at pictures of dogs and tell me what you'd rate them. I don't think that's a good, I don't even want to say like it's a bad way to spend my time. I just think it's rude because it's kind of superficial. And all dogs are great. I'd be like that Twitter account that's like, we rate dogs, and they'd all be great dogs. Jennifer Aniston at a party in 1990. Girls just want to have fun, Oh, girls just wanna have. They just wanna. Oh, stay away from all the Christian content on the internet, guys. Ladies and gentlemen, you'll catch me again soon. Yeah, take it easy. Bye.